of 4 Thursdays for the month of February. Now, our second conversation, or the conversation for this hour, rather, is about retirement, as I said earlier. Apparently, the reps, yes, indeed, the House of Representatives Committee on Public Petitions on Wednesday invited the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, to appear before it on Tuesday, February 18, over the failure of some senior officials to retire after reaching their due retirement dates. That's interesting. This followed the consideration of a petition by the Obasi Ferson Help Foundation, alleging that some assistant controllers and controllers were due for retirement, but had blatantly refused to leave service. A statement issued on Wednesday by the head of media, House Committee on Public Petitions, Chuksoko, named the concerned officers as Imam, Umar, and Egu, all assistant controllers, and Awe, Fatia, and Faith, all controllers. Issuing the summons, the committee noted that the Comptroller General has a duty as a public officer to clarify the situation to Nigerians. In their words, Nigerians deserve to know the truth of the matter, and only the CG can clarify the situation. We are elected to serve the people and ensure that all government agencies function effectively as part of that service. In this era, when most of our youths are seeking employment, it is unfair to those due for retirement to refuse to leave. The chairman of the Committee on Public Petitions, Mike Ketaba, was quoted as saying. Okay. Well, it's time to have this conversation. You see, it seems like, and I know it's not exclusive to our country, right? If I were a citizen of some other country, it's possible we will be in this position. But it honestly seems like every day, this country just does its best to trend for the wrong reason. There's a headline that will just make you go, ah. So now, there are people who have retired, but have refused to leave office. Is this a new concept? No, it's not. All right? But once upon a time, we used to have people do that by falsifying their age. According to the provisions of public service, you should have served for 35 years or be up to 60 years to retire, whichever comes first. So, in order to beat the system, what they do is they falsify age, take 5 years away. So what this means is the system thinks you're not there yet. At least you were honorable enough to lie. And you're still serving because we think you're not there yet. But this one, you did not falsify age. Or maybe you did, and the time has elapsed again. Your time is up. But you say, you know what? I go nowhere. And nothing happens. House of Reps members now have to call your boss to say, what's going on? There are people within the ranks that are supposed to be out, but they are still serving. What is going on? Now, the implications of this is that what it constitutes is an unlawful occupation of office. Refusing to retire when required by law is an unlawful continuation in office. It is a breach of contract. If an employment contract specifies a retirement age, which is mandatory, by the way, refusing to leave is a breach of that contract. But most importantly, it is fraud. That's exactly what it is. So you are literally committing, well, maybe not a crime, and not exactly qualify as a crime. But you're not in the right. Let's look away from customs, because there are many others on this table. It was reported that a retired police officer identified as Linus Monday was caught doing stop and search operation. I'll take that line again. A retired police officer, so he was done. Well, guess what? Maybe it's a case of old habits die hard. Or maybe, and this is the most objective reason that exists, the guy understands that retirement is not kind to people like him. Because there are countless stories of people stating that their gratuity could not even get them a small car. I shared a story the other day of a lady who had served the entire stretch of her service, and all she got was 1.7 million as gratuity. And after, I think, a couple of months or maybe a year, I need to get that correctly, she started getting, was it 40,000 monthly? I can't remember again. And she complained. Those stories stir reactions. People said if you had invested that time into another business, you would have. And it's true. So serving the country is a problem in and of itself. A lot of people know that the minute they step out, the minute they retire, life, the country is not kind to them. Retirees are still pursuing pension. And I feel like no matter how, maybe I should use the word heartless, I feel like there should be limits to corruption, right? As a politician, you're not supposed to steal, but no matter what happens, don't steal from pensioners, right? There should be a conscience that comes, see, I'm corrupt and I want to steal money, but this one is off limit. No! We have someone in this country that stole pensions. Maina. So when these people consider all these things, and it's time for them to go, they don't want to go. Maybe we can understand why. I'm not endorsing behavior. I'm not saying it's okay. But I'm saying we understand. Who do we blame? I'm not doing that. You can, of course, map out who deserves the blame. But this is what it is. It is time to retire, and people are not leaving. The final story, before I open the phone lines, is a video that trended sometime last year. Now, I don't know the police command that this covers, but in that video, a police officer had retired, but he refused to hand over. He came to the office, occupied that office, cross-legged like Oga, until the other officers came in to say, Oga, you have to leave. They ejected, evicted, and well, somehow someone was able to make a video of that confrontation. So this is from that video, and when we're done listening to it, I open the phone lines for us to talk.
So don't expect me, please. Okay, let us pack this here. I don't want issue. I don't want query from anybody. Look at the way he goes. Please, call these boys. Call these boys, I beg. You gave me time.
Okay, leave that one for people. Get out of this office. Okay, get out of this office.
Call these boys.
Okay, this is what I'm. This what I'm. No. Get out of this office. Okay, get out of this office. This is what you want. Okay, get out of this office.
Don't worry.
Get out of this office.
Wait.
No be wait. Get out of this office. Okay, get out of this office. Come and say that one. They are no more part of us. You are no more part of us, okay? Leave that one. Leave that one. You are no more part of us. Okay, when you are here, you will not be able to work. We have been looking for the way like this. We have been waiting for days like this for you to retire. We are not behaving well to us. Yes. We manage you. We manage you. We let you today. We manage you today. Get out of this office. This is not your office. This is what you want. We give you what you want today. We will give you what you want. We will give you what you want. Back on this out. Back your thing. Okay, back on that is what you want. What you want to happen? Move it out. Move it out. You are not part of us. You are retired. Go back to your family. Go and get your family. Let us enjoy our work. Let us enjoy our work.
My goodness. How embarrassing. Oga does not want to go. Retired but not tired. It's possible you've seen that video. The man did not seem... Of course, the excuse he was giving, if you listen to his part, was that, the AIG said he should sign something. You don't have to sign it in that office, my brother. And so, people, well, I'll have to say public service because those are the case studies, do not want to leave service. My question is, how effective are existing policies and oversight bodies in enforcing retirement regulations? And what do you make of the trend? Because that's what it is. Of these public servants refusing to retire, even when they are due for it. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06 416. I have a break coming up. I'll squeeze in one call if I can within that time. Hello. Good evening.
Hello, I'm into info.
Yes, it's info. What's your name?
Yes, I'm Nathan.
Okay, Nathan, can you turn off your radio?
It's matter of corruption.
Please turn off your radio.
Hello?
Hello?
Matter of corruption.
Okay.
And that thing don't have a remedy at all.
Nathan, for the last time, please turn off your radio.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Charles calls from Bonny Island. Hello, Charles.
Good morning. Good evening.
Okay, because I know it's evening in Bonny. You have just a minute. Please go ahead.
Okay. The problem lies on the president. How can IG get retired? The president is keeping it. That is started from the Buhari tenure. So they have all the same rights. You have increased the judges stay in office from 60 to 70 and the rest of the thing. These are all public servants. Politicians keep on mishandling the system. So now it's become a normal thing. If IG cannot go, then we cannot go.
Wow.
In oil and gas companies, once you are 60, you are out. No business person will do that. Once you are 60, you are out. The politicians keep on moving things, making things to favor them because of tribal and...
All right, we're out of time. If IG doesn't go, we're not going. Stay with us.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back after this.
Oga, get out of this office.
Call this boys.
Oga, this is what I'm waiting for. Oga, get out of this office, Oga. Oga, get out of this office. This is what we want, Oga. Get out of this office.
Don't worry.
Get out of this office.
Wait.
No be wait. Get out of this office. Oga, get out of this office. Come and say that we are no more part of us. You are no more part of us, Oga. Leave that one. Leave that one. You are no more part of us. Oga, when you are here, you will not be able to us. We have been looking for the way like this. We have been waiting for days like this for you to retire. We are not getting where to us. Yeah. We manage you. We manage you today. Now manage you today. Get out of this office. This is no more your office. Get out of this office. This is what you want. We give you what you want today. We will give you what you want. We will give you what you want. Back on this out. Back your thing. Back on that is what you want. What you want to happen? Move it out. Move it out. You are not of us. You are retired. Go back to your family. Go and tell your family. Let us enjoy our work. Let us enjoy our work.
And now, hard facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. Still hard facts, 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Orokuchinedu here. You heard the voices of officers who were literally throwing their Oga out of office. Why? He had retired and he refused to hand over, still occupying the office. There was one particular officer who was more pained than others. His voice was the loudest. But the point is, this is a trend in our beautiful country, Nigeria. There are countless people who are due for retirement, but they just refuse to leave. It is so bad that the rep members, House of Reps that is, summoned the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs, Adewale Adeni, to appear before it on Tuesday over the failure of some senior officials to retire after reaching their due retirement dates. So, this is no small issue. I'm hoping that we can follow up that on the 18th of February, that's sometime next week. But we know that this is a trend, and in many other sectors, people are refusing to retire. What's your take on this? 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. Now, a large part of our focus has been on the public sector, because that's where the accountability really lies. The private, well, it's private. You can decide to bend the rules. For retirement, it's not really set in stone. But for the public service, it is important that you abide by those rules. Specifically, my question is, beyond, of course, telling us what you make of the situation, how effective are existing policies and oversight bodies in enforcing retirement regulations? If and when you call, please turn off your radio. Andy Mayo on WhatsApp says, good evening, Sam. How do they do it? In education sector is not common. I remember when my colleague retired last year, his salary was stopped automatically by IPs. My goodness. That is truly sad. JJ calls from Port Harcourt Town. Hello, JJ. Good evening.
Sam, good evening.
Good evening.
From the look of things, on a lighter note, it's like they've been targeting that guy. So, bros, you don't have a place here anymore.
It seems so.
So we'll be tolerating you. And the day that we are waiting for is now here. So you can't escape it. Especially that guy whose voice is the loudest. But that aside, I think the lack of automation of our system becomes an issue. In the IOCs, Sam, you are using computer there right now.
That's
in
right.
Your studio, right? When you come, you log in.
Yeah.
Your login code is your retirement date.
Wow.
And as soon as that's your retirement day, when you reach, your login will not answer you. It has expired. You cannot access your computer. You can't even walk in at all. Everything is packed up. Your key, you can't access your office. And until we get that, then problem go there. But how do we even get that when we had that the president has extended the stay of IGP? Because we have a very good system where it's either you do 35 years or you are 60 years of age.
Yeah.
But what are we doing right now? Some people within the period, they go dye their head and begin to pretend as if they are born today. And so many other funny things and all those put together. See, Sam, until we have a good benefit that you'll be looking forward to say, if I collect this one now, this is what I will do. Problem go dey seriously. Like before now, in the IOCs, when they want to retire, or some of them when they retire, 2 years don't die. Because all the enjoyment they have in the ROA and all those, they don't get it again. But they now form cooperatives to say, look, the heaven you're living here, build it for yourself so that you prepare for retirement. So they are very happy right now to even go. So for me, until we do that, we'll go get this kind of issue more and more where you come to office and they drag you, small boys, say we are tolerating you. Thank you if you don't have any question.
Thank you very much, JJ. Ezekiel calls from Ubimini. Hello, Ezekiel.
Good afternoon once more.
Good afternoon.
SOC, did you see the level of corruption in our country? And also, I don't know if you remember what happened here in Rivers State. After the tenure of the 23 local government chairmen in Rivers State refused to vacate their offices. That is what will be happening in Nigeria until we keep it right. Imagine a police officer whose retirement has due to leave his office. Just imagine the drama. It's very, very shameful. Mr. SOC, I want to let you know that it has been the right time for us to let these political leaders know exactly what is happening in our ministries. Let them tell us whose ages has due for retirement in order to give the young ones opportunity to occupy their offices. Thank you very much. Ezekiel.
Thank you very much, Ezekiel. I'll be speaking to Madiva shortly. Sam, I am regretting not falsifying my age so as to remain in service. Can you imagine that I retired in February 2019 from the River State Service? It is now a good 6 whole years and my gratuity is not being talked about. With the current inflation, what will I do with the money if it is eventually paid? Sam, how long does it take to pay jumbo severances to political office holders? Tony in Ahoda is asking. Well, that's a factor as well. The fact that the retiree does not know his fate, the fact that there is a literal fear of that future, because there are many who have come before you and you have seen that they didn't end well. That's why people don't want to leave office. Madiva calls from Eagle Island. Hello, Madiva.
Madiba, please.
Oh, Madiba. Apologies. Please go ahead.
Is it this old thing? They say when the fish want to rot, it gets from the bottom of the head, top of the head down. From where you start the story from custom. When the CNC have been the president themselves, defy the rules, it becomes a problem. And this is a constitution they swore to uphold. I have never seen the custom itself, for example, the uniform service. Issues have been a promotion and all that are contrary to seniority. Well, all year when the Buhari administration brought in a retired army colonel, people who felt they will grow from rank and file to get to that controller general were denied. And again, same Buhari government put into form police 2020. Not people to follow them trend. So if people say if I did this, we will not go, they will not go. They are right. Because if we put law into use and we can't keep on disobeying it, what are we doing? Are we serious in this country? That is the best. So in as much as we put law into use and we that append our signature into it, we disobey it again. So what are we talking about? It's a pity because everybody want to get to the rank you aspire to be at that rank, and instead of letting you, they retire people in their numbers and now bring people that they feel. So must everything be we play with politics? No, it is wrong.
All right. Thank you, Madiba. Thank you very much. Nigeria, a comment on WhatsApp reads, is an amusement park. We die here is the new lexicon in our public service. From his grave, Mugabe must be laughing. My goodness. That's not a good example. That is not a good example at all. Okay, Hector calls from Ogbogoro. Hello, Hector.
Good evening once more.
Good evening.
Okay. The problem with our country is corruption. And that is why the other day I was arguing that there is a compromise on the corruption in the countries or nation rating. As far as I'm concerned, we are top. You see, corruption is not just about financial embezzlement. You can imagine at in the public sector, civil service sector, the rate of corruption, because all these things are part of corruption. Sit-tight syndrome. They don't want to leave for the younger ones to take over. They want to die there. There are millions of youths looking for job after graduation. They keep on applying for job, waiting for opportunity, job adverts from government parastatals, agencies, and ministries. While the ones that are here have refused to, earn, because even when they've obtained retiring age, they still want to remain there. So you see the problem we have in the country. They don't want to leave. People have been falsifying their age just to get job. Now, those persons that have been there and, past the age, that have gotten to the retiring age, they refuse to leave. While some are waiting for the opportunity as they pass the age for employment. So there is too many Yaga in this country. May God help us. May God help us. The corruption is just too much. No wonder former President Jonathan said there is a difference between corruption and stealing. This is corruption. It may not be stealing, but it's corruption.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hector. Says it's a problem of corruption. Now, when this happens, which it has, it raises questions about the legal framework. What does the law say? Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we have a bigger problem than what the law says. We don't follow through. Implementation is our biggest problem. Because I'm certain the law is clear as to what is required of retirement, what age, how many years of service, and how it should happen. It also brings questions about institutional integrity. When these allegations are thrown around in the police force and customs and whatever agency, department, or ministry, that it's time for people to retire but they don't leave office, you start looking at the institution. Can the police be trusted? Are their processes thorough? But more importantly, the impact on opportunities. Those who are coming from behind, the younger ones who are hoping to gain opportunities, be promoted to ranks, do not get those opportunities because, well, what is it saying? That the beautiful ones are not yet born. No, the old ones refuse to. I can't remember how it goes. Now, I have to commend the legislature, right? It's very easy to throw them under the bus, to say, oh, senators are doing this, rep members are doing that. But lately, there have been some summons that are in the best interest of Nigerians. I think yesterday or the day before, we talked about missing weapons. Yeah, it was yesterday. The IG was summoned by the Senate to explain how over 3,000 weapons are unaccounted for. Today, House of Rep members have summoned the custom boss. And while they have their problems that border heavily on corruption, Every now and then, it seems like our lawmakers know what they're doing. But this is truly sad that it had to get to this point where the custom boss was summoned. So what would have happened if the House of Rep members did not summon the custom boss? Are you telling me those officers would have kept serving beyond their term? I hope that's not the case. Well, Tambari calls from Port Hackett. I've lost that call. Call back if you can. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06416. This message reads, "Greetings, Mr. Sam. This is a syndrome in public service. You are complicated your stay in office and refuse to leave. I don't know what Nigeria is turning to." Owanete Clinton West says. Okay, Tambari is back. I'll speak to him in a bit. The next comment reads, "I'm speaking out today as a concerned citizen disturbed by the blatant disregard for the rule of law in our country. The recent example of the Inspector General of Police refusing to retire despite reaching the mandatory retirement age is a clear indication of the lack of respect for laws that govern our society. This is not just a matter of one individual, but a symptom of a larger problem. When those in positions of power disregard the law, it sets a dangerous precedent for others to follow. What message does this send to junior officers and the general public? That the law is optional? That those in power are above the law? We need to demand more from our leaders. We need to demand that they respect the laws that govern our society. We need to demand accountability and transparency. Let us continue to reclaim our country and restore the rule of law. Let us show that we will no longer tolerate disregard for the law that has become all too common. Together we can make a difference." Hezekiah Hope from Ahoda East. Thank you, Hezekiah. And Tambari from Port Hackett is back. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Broadcaster.
Evening, Mr. Caller.
Thank you. I just want to say something about the corruption in the system and how people are refusing to go out when it's their due time. First of all, they say what goes around comes around.
Yes, indeed.
Nigerians have been complaining about corruption and how the police and other organs of government have been melting this corruption on the citizenry. Now it's coming back to the system. And the system is not going to face the corruption by itself. That is why the police officer that was due for retirement is refusing to go. The corruption that they were sending out into the society is now after them, haunting them. So that trend will continue until the system will decay by itself.
That's going to take a long time.
And then the people will now come and take over for the right thing to be done. So, exactly, it's playing out. Since the Nigerian people seems to be too weak to take over the governance of the nation. So the system is like fighting for itself now. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll slowly get it to the end of this conversation. Let me see. Can I take this call? Hello? Good evening.
My name is the wonderful boy.
All right, go ahead.
Calling from Roma. See, there is an adage that says, when a particular crime lasts for 1 year, becomes custom. You got me?
Yeah.
Corruption has lasted and become endemic in Nigeria body. Now, when you hear the word police, what is the definition of police? Police, if well defined, is the one that monitors, gives that report, make sure things do not happen, and make sure it happens the way we want it. That is what is called police. Check. The hope of the common man is the police. And if the police do not set good example, how will the ordinary man, how will the man is taken take correction? Now, see Nigeria, not checks and balance. Who checks who? Just go there, play your own thought, do as you want. When you are in English, you get out from the seat. Another person go and continue the same. How do we correct this problem? Nigeria, the world is telling us. Nigeria has porousness and character in way of living of Nigeria. Let us first of all, discipline and find a way of check and balance and flush away all the evil men's face. How I wish somebody like Ones come out in Nigeria. How I wish.
Thank you very much. And my final call is from Charles, calling from Eastern Bypass. Hello, Charles.
Okay, yes, good on.
Good evening.
I have a personal experience.
Okay.
Okay, coming from the point of view of a slogan. So I have this league on my auto, age several times, and up to the point IPISS had to stop his survey because the age system has indicated that the guy is retired. He did not leave the office. He stayed in that office for another 3 years.
Oh.
He went and brought a court affidavit that he has not reached retirement age. But I'm going to tell you this buzzer now. The level 14 officer in the Federal Civil Service scale earns less than 250,000 per month. His retirement benefit at the end of the day is less than 8 million. That after he must have gone to level as a director, is less than 8 million. But I can guarantee you that there are some offices you will hold in 1 month, you will make 8 million. So will you want to retire? That is the issue. These are the issues. When we personalize institutions, just be in the good books of the PAMSEC or the head of that particular parastatal. I can tell you can be there till 80 until stroke hits you and then it's not coming to the office. Thank you.
Does stroke have to be a part of the mix? Can't you die a peaceful day? Oh my goodness. Okay. So it boils down to corruption. It is endemic. It is second nature, if you may. And you know that the idea behind these conversations and the way they are formatted, especially for us on Nigeria Info, is not just for the purpose of development, like we like to say, but for nation rebuilding, rebranding. It starts with the consciousness. I feel like even if goodwill people, those with the best of intentions, want to fix Nigeria, right? We have the right people in the right position. They say, you know what, we want to fix this country. Even they would be frustrated. They might not give up, but they're like, where would we start? Because it is a cancer. There are parts that need to be cut off. And it all begins with us. All of this just goes back to say we all have to play our part. And I end on a note of hope, as I always do. I hope that we get it right. Stay with us.